Hey everyone, Trevor here with grainfreeme. Just wanted to do a really quick update tonight because I was working on some of the recipes and I realized that I got kind of sidetracked with the excitement of getting so much stuff done and out there the other day that I hadn't been putting alpha gal syndrome warnings on the recipes. And I wanted people to know that I'm going to be updating the recipes with those warnings. It's always been, Lyme disease, alpha gal syndrome, celiac, Crohn's, colitis, all of the food based illnesses that I've researched over the years is all part of my medical library on my website, grainfreeme.com. And it's one of those hard ones that I just kind of overlooked in the aspect that I overlook celiacs and diabetes, and especially hereditary fructose intolerance most of the time. So from here on out, I will be going back. I did post the 9 recipes last night, and I will be going back and updating those with the alpha gal warnings. And I will be putting into each one of my recipes how can you still use the recipe. So, all of my recipes from here on out will have like a alpha gal warning that yes, this is a beef taco recipe, but you should be safe if you use ground chicken or ground turkey. It's I didn't mean to overlook that in the recipes, but now that we're seeing so much potential for people getting diagnosed with alpha gal syndrome, I will be including that in all of my recipes. Unfortunately, a lot of the recipes that I do are heavily dairy based. My chaffles, you really can't make a chaffle without shredded mozzarella. And also at the same time, I need to call out the fact that I've never found a vegan or vegetarian version of meat substitute or whatever that was safe for people like me. So that's one of those things I don't recommend. My spice mixes, if you want to use my taco spice mix for a vegan or meat substitute, that's up to you. I can't recommend that. I've never seen a substitution that was something that I would consider safe for celiac or diabetics, people with HFI, and other autoimmune conditions. So I won't recommend those things. And I really wanted to make that clear tonight. And luckily, I haven't had anybody buy the recipes yet that I posted, but it'll take a few days for me to get all of those updated. But from here on out, I will have that alpha gal syndrome warning Same way I do with nut allergies and dairy issues. And I'll do my best to make the recipes compatible with things like chicken or turkey. It's hard, you know, and I have to be completely honest. I haven't talked about this, but working with AI in the way that I have been and programming AI for getting help with the recipes that I'm building, I flat out said it multiple times. If I got a tick bite and I got alpha gal, I'd be screwed. The only thing that has kept me alive, that has brought me back to somewhat normal life, is meat and cheese. This is honestly a horrible conversation that we need to have, because of the fact that there is proof that there are people out there that may have contributed to this. Conspiracy theory, I don't know. But I've seen a lot of people talk about it in certain groups. And for someone like me that already had medical conditions, food, diet issues, and then you take away the couple of foods that I survived on, what does that say about those people? You know? Either route. I'm going to make sure from here on out that all my recipes have substitutions if possible. And if there are no substitutions, it'll say right up front. You know, if you have alpha gal syndrome and you're reactive to dairy, especially, that there's nothing I can suggest. And I will more than likely be doing a alpha gal syndrome recipe page down the road. I mean, it's only logical. It's hard enough being celiac and HFI. So I just wanted to do this quick update tonight, let people know that, you know, I do have an alpha gal page on my website. And it's always been in consideration with the recipes. I was more focused on celiacs and Crohn's, colitis, HFI, diabetes, etc. But man, you know, now that just in the last week, we're just seeing the alpha gal syndrome stuff really hit mainstream, and seeing the numbers, it's just going to have to be part of the future recipes. So I don't want anybody out there that might be suffering with alpha gal to think that I don't think about them. There will be recipes for you. Welcome to the club. Let's put it that way. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say tonight. It's going to take me a few days, maybe a week or two, to get it updated and readjust the recipes with all the warnings and substitutions. Let's put it that way. So, and and here's the thing, most of the recipes I have up, minus the dairy aspect, because cheese is the main part of everything I put up last night. I can't, there's no way for me to change that. I had to put in all my recipes, you can't use pre-shredded cheese because of the anti-caking agents and starches that they use to keep the shreds from clumping together. And with alpha-gal syndrome, that just makes it 10 times worse. So I am hoping that, let's just put it this way, I will do my best to create recipes for anybody with alpha-gal syndrome. I'm here. I understand it. It's on my webpage. As hard as it is for me to deal with celiacs and HFI, I can't imagine what it would be like if I got bit by a tick. Living in Nebraska, the ticks are moving up here. We're seeing more cases in Nebraska. If I had to take dairy and red meat out of my diet, I don't know what I would do. I really don't. I'd figure it out, but being celiac and HFI is hard enough. So, sorry that those first 9 recipes that went up didn't take alpha-gal into consideration. I will get them updated in the next few days to a week. And from here on out, every single recipe will have alpha-gal warnings on them and substitutions on them. That's it for tonight, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Like, subscribe, share, do all the typical stuff that social media asks you to do. And comment. If you have alpha-gal, reach out to me, please, and tell me what recipes you would like to see a updated, safe version. I was working on taco seasoning today, and taco recipes and chili recipes, and that's what really hit me. I'm like, okay, crap. We're working with beef or pork or pepperoni, and yes, the spices are safe, but what if you have alpha-gal syndrome? Yeah, you can make a ground chicken taco or a ground turkey taco, ground fish taco, etc., etc. But the thing is that most dietitians, I had to think back to when I called up 5 or 6 different dietitians, said, hey, I just found out I've got celiacs and HFI. And they said, what's HFI? And I said, hereditary fructose intolerance. And when I said I had celiac disease, they said, oh, well, just don't eat wheat, barley, or rye. Well, it turns out I was reactive to corn, rice, quinoa, every grain, not just wheat, barley, and rye. And just this stuff just frustrates the crap out of me. So, again, I'm going to do the best that I can to help everybody that I can. And that's all I can do. So, again, repeating myself, hope you guys are all doing well. Like, subscribe, comment, hit me up on the website, Facebook, send me a direct message. I don't care. Might not be able to get to it for a few days, but I'll respond as soon as I can. And this is it for tonight. Signing out from Fremont, Nebraska, and grainfreeme. Take care. We'll see you guys next time.